When many Christians hear the word atheist, they automatically associate the following words as well: evolutionist, social Darwinist, and relativist. From there, you then assume that you know everything there is to know about me as an individual, and this is a grievous error. Now, some of you may not know what all those words mean, but you will get the meaning of those words because these misconceptions are passed around and mentioned so much it makes you want to throw up, literally. So let's define these terms. Atheism is the disbelief or lack of belief in the existence of God or gods. Evolution is the process by which different kinds of living organisms are thought to have developed and diversified from earlier forms during the history of the earth. Social Darwinism is the theory that individuals, groups, and peoples are subject to natural laws of survival of the fittest. Relativism, the doctrine that knowledge, truth, and morality exist in relation to culture, society, or historical context and are not absolute. So to break this down a little bit more, atheism, you can say, is a spiritual doctrine or spiritual non-doctrine. Okay, and for you atheists out there, I am trying to put this in a way that is the easiest for Christians to understand. Atheism is a statement about our belief or non-belief in divine beings. It has nothing to do with our belief in science, sociology, or philosophy. Evolution is a science. It has nothing to do with the belief or non-belief in divine beings. It has nothing to do with theories of sociology, and it is not a philosophy. It gives us no moral compass. It's not supposed to, because it is a science. It gives us no more of a moral compass than Einstein's theory of relativity, string theory, cell theory, germ theory. It is a science, the observation of the natural world and extrapolating conclusions and findings based on our investigations of the natural world. That's all it is. Social Darwinism is a social theory. It deals with sociology. Overlaps quite a bit with philosophy, but it is still not a philosophy because it is a practice of sociology. It's not a science, and it does not necessarily make any statement one way or the other about the belief or non-belief in divine beings. Relativism is a philosophy, not a science, and not a belief or non-belief in non-beings, or in divine beings. In fact, if you want to put relativism in the corner of atheism, well, you also have to put that in the corner of Christianity, and I'll tell you why. Look at the Old Testament Midianites. Look at the acceptance of slavery in the Bible. But because of the way that it's mentioned in the Bible, many Christians will say, well, it was right for the time. It was right for the social structure of that day. So therefore, relativism is not solely the domain of the, quote, atheist. It is a philosophy that can transcend many different belief or non-beliefs. Would it also surprise you to find out that not all atheists are evolutionists? Some of them are creationists. And if you're not, if that surprises you, then you're not paying attention. There are many who are atheists. They are atheists because they do not believe in the existence of a divine being, but they believe that we were created and put on this earth. Of course, most of them have the far-out radical idea that we were created and genetically engineered by extraterrestrial beings, but all the same, that is a form of creationism. So for you to turn around and say that that atheists are evolutionists, you're not entirely correct. You're making an assumption. Now, social Darwinism, let's talk about that for a minute, because it actually has nothing to do with Darwinism. This individual named Herbert Spencer read Origin of the Species. he misunderstood or intentionally misconstrued Darwin's theories of natural selection as survival of the fittest. Darwin later did use the term survival of the fittest, but when Darwin used the terms, what he meant was the one that was most fit for its environment had the best chance of survival. Now, when Herbert Spencer and his fellow social Darwinists used it, they meant that the strong were the ones who had the right to survive. Social Darwinism was used to justify genocide and all kinds of other cutthroat economic and political policies and all kinds of atrocities towards our fellow man. Now, not all atheists prescribe to social Darwinism. I don't. So for you to hear me say I am an atheist and then assume that I believe in survival of the fittest in the way that you believe survival of the fittest means, then you're incorrect. Christians who believe in evolution do not prescribe to social Darwinism, or if they are actually following any kinds of the teachings that are supposed to be in the Bible, they shouldn't be. So social Darwinism actually stands opposed to evolution, and the reason behind that is this. Evolution is about the survival of the species, the continuation of the species. For us to turn on our own species in acts of genocide and violence, stepping on the backs of our fellow man and breaking them down and all these other things that social Darwinism has been used to justify, you're actually threatening your own survival of the species. So the idea that atheists, evolutionists, and social Darwinists are all one and the same is incredibly incorrect, and incredibly either ignorant or arrogant of you to assume. I'm not a relativist either. And in fact, relativism can be applied to Christianity, and let me explain. When we look in the book of, I believe it's Leviticus, where it's talking about the Midianite genocide, many Christians will defend that by saying it was God's will, or it was right for the time. And that is a form of relativism. Whereas others, like myself, will stand and say, genocide is wrong. It is wrong today. It was wrong 3,000 years ago. And it will be wrong 3,000 years from today. Now, right, wrong, or indifferent, however it is you feel about it, that very statement, which I hold to be true, that genocide is wrong, absolutely makes me not a relativist. I can say the same thing about sexual violence. Sexual violence is wrong today. It was wrong 3,000 years ago. It will be wrong 3,000 years from today. So for you to assume that an atheist is a relativist, you are incorrect. I would say that few atheists are actually relativists. So in conclusion, for you to hear the word atheist, then assume that you know everything there is to know about us, our beliefs about science, our beliefs about morality, our beliefs about society, is as much a grievous of an error as for me to hear the word Christian, then assume that I know everything there is to know about you and your beliefs about science, your beliefs about sociology, your beliefs about morality, your beliefs about philosophy is incorrect. So this word association has got to go. If you are going to be able to communicate with us, if you are going to be able to communicate with each other intelligently, these word associations have to go because they don't belong. They belong no more than Christianity belongs to charismatic, belongs to Catholic, belongs to pre-tribulationist, belongs to you name it. Thank you for watching.